Happy Monday, everyone.
Happy
Welcome
Monday.
into the News 10 Plus desk. We're here with Nicole Buckman.
Hello.
For all the fun we can expect today on Studio 10.
That is right. We are kicking off Monday with a bang.
All right.
And you know, on every Tuesday, what do we have every Tuesday?
Take Me Home Tuesday.
With our furry friends from the Capital Area Humane Society.
Can I tell you something? I was actually looking up the Capital Area Humane Society last night looking for a cat because my brother's like, would you get another cat? So we started looking, and there were a few on there that actually,
So
are they going to bring any of them in?
No,
Do we know?
because today's Monday. So we don't have to Take Me Home Tuesday on Tuesday, but I bring it up because we usually have furry friends that join us. No, we usually have furry friends that join us. But how about some scaly friends? Because this Sunday is the Jackson Reptile Expo, and ahead of it, they're coming in and they're bringing scaly friends like snakes and geckos, and another reptile.
The snakes I can't do. Geckos are cute.
Yes, they are. It's named Echo, and that's because the organizer's son couldn't say gecko, so he could only say Echo. So anyway, they're bringing it in, but they're bringing in a red-tailed boa snake. It's it's half the size it's going to grow to be, so it's 3 feet long. And let me tell you, there's a lot of, I know, I'm seeing your faces.
I'm terrified.
But for me, it's like a texture thing, so I was hesitant about holding it, or wanting to hold it. But they're like, it's not slimy. It's smooth and it's shiny. So definitely tune into Studio 10 to see snakes and geckos and all the reptiles, and of course, learn how you can change your perspective on these animals. So you smile when I say these words. Not.
I feel like it's like I'm just afraid that it might get me.
No.
You know, it's not even the texture, I don't think.
No. They told us it ate beforehand, so the rat will probably be in the middle of its stomach. Anyway, it's really cool, and reptiles also like help the world go around. I don't know about that, but
you're changing my mind, Nicole.
Anyway, tune in to Studio 10 to see some reptiles. How's that sound? And if you want to see the whole thing, then definitely tune in at on Sunday, actually go to the expo. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So there's that, and then also we love Lansing like a local every Monday. Yeah. And this week's theme is all like about activities like sports and stuff. So Rochelle went to an X-Golf place. Yes. And learned how you could do that, which is I think sometimes good for those like blistering hot days. Because, I mean, I know we have a lot of golf fans around here. I know Justin's going to be joining us shortly. And summer's a great time to golf because we have limited time that we can golf here in Michigan. So it's cool to, like, introduce into X-Golf where it's, like, less commitment, but you can still use those skills. And that's something you can do all year round.
Build on your skills, too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I've done it once.
You said you had a pretty good experience, right?
Yeah, I wasn't good. I may have won one hole. I don't know. It was really hard, but really cool. But it is fun that you can do like, you know, date night or just like by yourself to practice. So, yeah. So,
honestly, a date night there, that would be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Always fun. Yep. And also, too, what is Claudia doing today? She is, on kind of like a more serious, well, I mean, it is kind of serious, unfortunately, because, sorry. I'm just laughing because I'm trying to find a better way to transition into this.
The transitions can be tricky at times.
I think I just got the summer giggles, Monday giggles. Anyway, so Baskin-Robbins, obviously we love their ice cream, especially during the summertime. And they also do a good job about, you know, working up fundraisers and, you know, helping and giving back to the community. And this one organization is finding that, unfortunately, headstones, which, you know, if you go that route, you know, when your time is done, and you want to memorialize and remember your loved ones that way, it's really expensive. And it's something that we don't really think about, and you know, we really shouldn't have to, but it is a huge expense. And so Baskin-Robbins recognized that expense. Wow. And now they're doing scoops it's something clever. Oh my gosh. They're doing a fundraiser, though, if you can get ice cream, and it can help with getting money for the headstones. I'm
trying to look up what they're calling it.
Well, that's why you definitely have to tune into Studio 10.
Yes, so you can learn more.
Scoops for story, scoops for, oh my goodness, golly. I
know, I'm trying to like see here what it's called. That's not it. This is not what I'm looking for, people.
Scoops for. I know, Justin.
Did you find it?
Did you miss this? Okay, I know.
I'm like trying to find something on it. I literally typed that in.
Yeah.
Baskin Robbins raising money for headstones.
Oh.
I'm not. Oh.
No. All right. Well, that's a tease. So definitely tune into Studio 10. It's definitely something clever. But anyway, it's like we don't think about that kind of stuff, and it's a good way to kind of combine. But she'll have all the information, of course, how you can look into that and go about that. So I really apologize. Yikes.
That's tricky. Remembering all the names is hard. But yes, tune in at 3 o'clock for more on Claudia's story.
As well, yeah. And then we also have on Saturday is Poetry in the City. And there's international poets that have been recognized and won awards, and they're all coming in on Saturday and performing. It's a free event, and it's super cool because it's like on the Capitol. So ahead of that, we're going to have a few of those poets come in today, read some of their stuff, perform, and then just talk about the importance of, spoken word and how you can get into it as well.
All right, I like that. Sounds good. Thank you, Nicole. You did great.
Thank you.
That's all right. We have those moments. It's a Monday.
I'm going to look that up. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to interrupt Justin.
All right, sounds good. We'll be ready.
Oh my goodness, golly. All right, tune in at 3 o'clock for a great show. I will by then have my words together.
Thank you, Nicole. For more information and learning about that, of course, Nicole and Claudia and Rochelle will be there for 3 o'clock. So that is coming up, everyone, in just over 45 minutes here. Make sure that you're tuning in. WILX Studio 10, great social media pages, or that's their social media handle, so you can get to their pages, see anything going on with Studio 10. And of course, if you want to sponsor, advertise, Studio 10 at WILX.com is a place to go. I think I was saying last week, someone asked me, oh, Nicole's running back up here. And the name is?
Scoops for Stones.
Scoops for Stones.
So you can get ice cream, and the money will go towards headstones for those that might not be able to afford it.
That's a great Scoops for Stones. Thank you, Nicole. She did just hustle back in here. She was running. Thank you, Nicole. She'll have more, and Claudia will have more on Scoops for Stones this afternoon.
Yeah.
But Justin, this afternoon, people need to watch out because you probably woke up to the thunderstorms, the showers, and if you were like me, you were like, let me just go back to bed.
I know I did, and yet my 6-week-old slept right through it.
Welcome back.
Lucky me, I guess. That kid's been a joy. He's only woken us up a handful of times.
Like a natural sound machine.
Yeah, really, really great. Didn't even have to use the regular one, so really nice. I'm back, as many people can see now. First day back, in fact, since I think I last worked June 2nd.
Yeah.
So it's been a little while, been about a month and a half, but I'm glad to be back.
We're happy to have you back.
Yeah, sharing the forecast from mid-Michigan, which of course I come back to a first alert weather day. It's
only fitting.
Only fitting. It's appropriate, but it's not actually for the daytime today. It's for tonight after the sun goes down, and so that's what we're going to watch for some storms to move in. They could have some gusty winds with them. I know last night we had a little bit of damage across mid-Michigan. There's no note on that whether or not it was wind. Could have been lightning. We had a lot of that zapping around. If that struck a tree at the right angle, you could have had that fall. And then, of course, the heavy rainfall. We're going to have that tonight as well, but just a bit of a higher uptick in severe threat. So we want to take a look at that today.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll head right to the first alert weather day, so you're all prepared for what's to come later tonight.
Yeah, this is kind of the forecast we're looking at. So, again, late tonight is really what the first alert weather day is for. I don't want folks to get confused over the first alert weather day branding. In fact, we're using today to show you what we're going to expect for later tonight. And so just expect a nice, hot, humid day outside for the rest of this afternoon. In fact, outside right now, looking pretty fair, US 127, but you can wear that air outside because the Meridian Company Skycam network, while it has us at 80 degrees, feels a little warmer when you factor in that humidity. Dew points at a juicy 70. That's 7-0 for the folks at home. So once again, that's just a very, very humid laden air mass, and it's plenty of energy that's available that later on this evening as the system moves in, it'll be able to take advantage of that. So here's those dew points right now. Very just soupy air outside. If you happen to step outdoors, especially if you're in the sunlight, you could feel that humidity. That's why we use the moniker air you can wear outside.
Yeah.
Certainly one of those type days, and the temperatures are running in the lower 80s, which is good. They could be 10 degrees higher this time of year with the same humidity. We don't have that, fortunately, but it is going to get to about the mid to maybe some upper 80s by the end of the day today. So we still got a little ways to go temperature-wise. I think about 6 p.m. is when we'll see our warmest numbers, and they'll be around 86, maybe 87 degrees. Now, we are also looking at satellite and radar. This is a long loop. Here's that thunderstorm activity that rumbled through last night. Swirled around with a little more morning rain before departing. That batch didn't really have much thunder with it at all, but you can see the first one certainly did. All that lightning that swept through in the middle of the night. Since then, we've been dry, though, and that'll be the case the rest of today. In fact, the sun's starting to peek back out, and then our next system's going to be lined up. You can see it brewing out over the Minneapolis area in Minnesota. That's going to dart towards the south a little bit and mainly come east as we head into our evening and overnight. I do think it is going to be after the sun goes down for sure, maybe even after midnight in some places for this to move in. We're calling it about 10 p.m. for the folks in western counties, but even then, just keep an eye on the radar as you head towards bed because the storms may not yet be here. In fact, I expect most of them will not be by that point, but they are going to be gusty thunderstorms, so the heavy rain is the one thing to watch out for, but also the strong winds. I've got the time frame after 10, but again, a lot of us it'll be after midnight, and it's an overnight risk for severe storms, which does make it one we want to pay a little closer attention to. At least during the daylight, we can actively see when the weather's starting to get bad outside and take the appropriate action. When you're in bed in the middle of the night, not as easy to do so. So having those notifications turned on, getting the first alert, going to be very important for you to have as we head into our evening and overnight. I expect if many of you woke up last night to rumbles of thunder, it'll probably be a similar story tonight with, again, a greater wind threat this time around. And so the Storm Prediction Center, in fact, is elevating their risk. This is the latest update, which just came out less than about an hour ago. And this has now got part of an enhanced risk into mid-Michigan. Now, this is a 3 out of 5 for our severe weather criteria. Slight risk elsewhere, which includes Lansing and most of Jackson County, but you can see that even some of Jackson County, as well as the entirety of Hillsdale County and about the southwest 2/3 of Eaton County are in the enhanced risk. Now, that, again, a 3 out of 5 for severe weather criteria. We don't really get that often here in mid-Michigan. Incredibly rare we get a level 4 moderate risk, which is not on there today, and you can count on maybe one hand the amount of times we've ever had a high risk day. But enhanced risk is something to make note of, and this again happening in the overnight is something we are going to be watching fairly closely for folks, so we did want to keep you informed with that first alert on that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have, as you mentioned earlier, Justin, those power outages, those downed trees. I know last week when we had some of those storms, it was marginal or slight risk, and even that had a lot of downpours, a lot of flooding in, apartments like the quarters in East Lansing. So anything with flooding, just make sure, like Justin said, you're taking the precautions to prepare for all of that before everything moves in tonight while you're sleeping.
Yeah, and I wish I had the graphic up in my run through just so that I could show and share with you, but the level of risk generally for the most part tends to kind of be associated with just the general overall thunderstorm activity. And so if you have a marginal risk, that tends to be like a very isolated and much more like kind of spread out, whereas the slight risk in the yellow tends to be a little bit more scattered, and then an enhanced tends to be widespread. And so once you start seeing that orange color, you have a pretty high confidence that there will be some storms that get close to or meet the criteria that you need for severe weather. So
that's good to know.
Yeah, so slight risk again is still something to take. All the risks are meant to be taken seriously,
Right.
but the marginal risk, you might have a storm, maybe two, that pops across the whole area, and most of the storms will be fairly tame. With the yellow, the slight risk, you tend to have about half the storms will have that potential to pop, but the other half won't. Once you start getting into enhanced, almost any of those storms will have the ability to do so, and then the moderate and high are kind of reserved for not only duration, not only events that tend to be a higher uptick, but they also tend to be a little more in duration and intensity as well. And so all that to be considered when you talk about the severe weather outlooks. I did now want to go ahead and show the hour-by-hour forecast because, as you note outside, it is another warm and muggy afternoon. We're going to have that through this evening. Here you see that high temp topping out around 86 or so as we get to around the dinner time hour, but we're still dry. Just a few clouds on the horizon if you're looking west. and that all changes overnight. So here's the 11 p.m. hour by hour, at least with this model, and it's possible they could be a little closer to us, but I still think just maybe creeping into our far western zone by 11 or midnight, and then continuing to trek this way. That line comes together in a pretty solid way, and it's especially the southern portion. And so you saw in the orange back there on our last graphic the enhanced risk, which really is for folks that are south of a Charlotte to Jackson to Hillsdale line. That's going to be an area that we want to watch for main concern. And so folks who have been in the bullseye and fairly unlucky already this year, places like Marshall and Coldwater as well, you're going to be wanting to keep an eye out, especially as we head into the overnight, but so will everybody else, including in Lansing and Jackson, as well as Mason, St. John's, and all the other communities we have here in mid-Michigan. Now, the good news is, even though it is an overnight storm threat, that threat does fade by Tuesday morning, and so it looks like we get back into much quieter weather. Even if we have a lingering raindrop or two, it's not much on Tuesday. It is still a day where we keep a little bit of that humidity, but a front that dives through Tuesday night is going to cool off temps in a big way, and you'll see the overnight lows stay in the 60s, but the humidity is going to be ushered out. So Wednesday's highs, they likely stop in the 70s, although we go past the end of the numbers on the model here, and it's a dry day, followed by several more with more sunshine to end the week. So good news coming in our forecast, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
But the 10-day does show that those 70s carry only into Friday. The weekend, we're back to the 80s, even if it's low 80s, and really it's only a degree or two higher than Friday. But lots of sun, dry weather in the forecast. Should be a beautiful weekend. And so why not? One, if you haven't made plans yet, maybe try to make plans to do something outdoors over the weekend. Enjoy. Maybe try to find some events going on in the area, especially Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I know lavender fields are happening right now. Yeah, get out there.
Lots of good stuff going on. Another cool thing to note, and I mean that literally, the overnight lows, 50s. That's a lot more comfortable in a lot of places to start the day. I know a lot of folks around here love the warm mornings to wake up to in the summer, but those normally lead to hot days. When you have a nice cool morning, it can be refreshing with a nice cup of coffee, maybe a sweatshirt out on the back patio or something before you get back into that 80-degree range. By the afternoon, that's what we'll do most of the tail end of this week and weekend, and we keep those numbers pretty close as we dive into the second half of July beginning tomorrow and continue to truck right on through next week with, again, maybe a shower or two popping, but that'll be way later in the forecast. I wouldn't hang any bit of my hat on that Tuesday, Wednesday, and those shower chances. We'll just have the ability to have some moisture present by that point in time. So it really looks like we're going to enter a great stretch here. It's just going to be after tonight, which once again, if the 10-day looks funny to you with the first alert weather day on an icon with no rain on today, it's again because it's for tonight. We're prepping you, getting you ready, want you to have that first alert. Not only can you get that with us right here, but a great place to get that weather information if you're not able to watch us either on air, online, or anything like that is the First Alert Weather app, which is a really great tool that we have here at News 10 that we hope that you can download. Once again, it's absolutely free, and it's very easy to get a hold of. And so that's good. So First Alert Weather app, if you don't have it already, make sure you download it. Otherwise, once again, we're going to be smooth sailing into a nice second half of the week, just getting through those storms tonight. And try to sleep soundly through them, but of course have those notifications ready too, because if they do wake you up and there is severe weather taking place, we want you to turn to 10, be right here with us. We'll have you covered on all platforms.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. And I will say, Justin was talking about those notifications. You will be notified. In fact, last night I had my notifications popping up. Lightning detected in your area, 12 miles away, 6 miles away. And so it updates you every time that storm is getting closer. So you know if you're like, oh, I forgot to, bring in the patio furniture just in case, or I forgot to do this, you have time.
Right.
So make sure you're prepared.
Yeah. So that's the good news. Again, second half of the week looks good. Tonight's storms, once we're through that, we're pretty good the rest of this week, and really nice here for the second half of July. So hopefully, once again, you're able to enjoy, and the forecast does look pretty good for us for the most part, other than, of course, tonight, which will be after dark, after the sun goes down. If you have any plans prior to 9, 10 o'clock, you should be okay. It'll be after that when we want to keep an eye out for things. And once again, meteorologist Andy Provenzano will be in the area too. He'll be keeping an eye on everything that's going on. And of course, we'll have you covered on all of our platforms throughout, as well as we continue to provide that first alert for you.
That is right. And Justin, real quick, I'm going to show on our website, wilx.com. So if you scroll down here, you can see where you can send in pictures. So anything, did you want to mention this?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if you could, we have a tab here where you can upload photos that you, of course, we would like you to take safely. Don't run outside and try to film a tornado or anything like that. Hopefully we don't have anything like that to deal with. But once you're able to take safe photos of any weather in our area, feel free to send them our way. It doesn't have to be bad weather. It can be something really cool you see. It could be a rainbow, anything that's out there,
Yeah.
that's a good place where you can submit those, and who knows, maybe you'll even end up on the air. So it's a good place for you to share those, again, safely, and that's always what we want to stress too when it comes to these events.
And maybe it's because you're a dad now, but taking those precautions of please only do that when you are safe. If it's a complete downpour, there's lightning everywhere, do not go running outside.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do any of that, for sure.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you, Justin.
Yeah, of course.
We're happy to have you back.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. You know, I love everybody and everything here at News 10, and I've been telling everybody, I'm so excited to get back to work. Missing my guy at home, you know, little Jace, but still, you know, it's going to be nice to get back to him this evening after my first day back. So.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we're happy to have you back. We'll see you Studio 10.
Yes.
First at 4.
Yeah, look forward to it.
All right, we'll see you then.
Yep,
sounds good.
Cool.
Right now, what I'm going to be doing is showing you what we have coming up during our 90 minutes of news. And we'll be taking a live look here in just a little second. But yes, talk about what we have coming up today. Thank you, Justin. Again, Studio 10, as well as First at 4, you can see Justin. So make sure that you're going to check that out. Otherwise, coming up today on First at 4, happening this Saturday, so this weekend, you still have time to sign up for Ellie's race. That is a 5K. You can run, walk, roll, but the whole purpose of this race is to really raise those funds and support Ellie's Place, which of course helps individuals, children, families, adults who are grieving, who have lost a loved one. So they have those resources and support and all of the help that you would need if you're grieving. So we're going to be talking with Christine Kuhner, the Capital Region Director with Ellie's Place, and speaking on her own personal story and how Ellie's Place really helps families like it's helped her. So we're going to be sharing more of that today on Mid-Michigan Matters today. And then coming up, News 10 at 5. We're going to be taking a live look here in just a little bit at the Pfizer Forum because the Republican National Convention started just moments ago with more concerns over security at the event in Milwaukee following an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump and also the presumptive GOP nominee. So of course that was big headlines happening yesterday. And so make sure that you're tuning into that. In fact, I will show you the camera, the live look right now happening. Again, this is at the Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where former president and presumptive GOP nominee Donald Trump is there. So we have more on what is being done on that security measures to keep the days-long convention safe. That is all coming up today, News 10 at 5. And then we'll keep this here just for a little bit longer so you can see all of those live looks. Right now, I'm going to take it back to what we have coming up the rest of the day here on News 10. So coming up News 10 at 5:30, an opportunity to learn more about buying a home. This week, the Welcome Home organization will be holding a home buyer information seminar. And we'll tell you when and where the event is being held and how you can attend. I know a lot of people, when we're talking about the housing crisis, they want to know what they can do in terms of mortgages, those anything about the housing market, the available homes, buyers, sellers, you name it, all across the board. They want to know the information because it's been difficult finding houses that are affordable too, especially all over the country. So we're going to have more on that coming up today, News 10 at 5:30. And then News 10 at 6, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, over 1 million vehicle thefts were reported nationally in 2023, and this means that a vehicle was stolen every 32 seconds. News 10's Aaron Bowling speaks with local law enforcement about the trends and how to protect yourself, and that's all coming up today on News 10 at 6. So just a reminder, lock your vehicles, right? If you hop out of the car, you're not attending it, please lock your vehicles so that no one is breaking into it, stealing your belongings, or even stealing your car. You don't want that happening. Again, I'm going to show you a live look at the Republican National Convention happening right now. Just getting a broader look at everything that is happening at the moment. So you're taking a look right there. Otherwise, we have Deanna Giles, who is live here on the desk with me. We're going to be sharing what she has coming up during our 90 minutes of news. Deanna, there's so many names on this button thing that I'm always like, where is it?
Right there.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a beautiful warm day today.
It's a little muggy, but you're right.
Well, okay, yeah, it is a little muggy.
Yes,
But if you
yes.
find some shade, you're good.
That is true.
Then you get a nice little breeze and some sun.
That is true. I know we were able to see the sun just a little bit. I know, it's nice.
Yes. But no, I am working on Amazon Prime Day. It's coming up, but
Deals.
the story is not, advertising Prime Day specifically, obviously, even though we love to shop, but more so looking at the fact that, while you and others are out there shopping and looking for deals, scammers are also shopping and looking to scam you.
Yeah.
Sadly, but it is true.
Yes.
So I'll be looking at or putting out tips and tricks that you can do as someone who is out shopping, so that you don't get scammed by either that certain email that's sent out or that phone call, not clicking on links, things like that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, as we've all been told or heard, if it looks too good to be true, probably not true.
I know, that's always so tricky when shopping for deals, but it's always a huge important reminder. I know a lot of people always look forward to those Prime days because you're looking to score those deals with inflated prices. So yeah, making sure that if it does look too good to be true, you really want to be cautious.
Yes. I know there's a lot of excitement about Prime Day. I will hopefully be partaking myself, but it just becomes a bummer when you have people who wish to scam you, and you know
It happens
affects-
every year.
Exactly, every year, and it happens to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, you could be young or older, doesn't matter.
That is true. Okay,
I
so
have all those on News 10 at 5 o'clock.
sounds good. Thank you, Deanna. Yeah, make
Thank
sure
you.
again that you're protecting yourself during this time, and maybe, you know, with this rainy day, you're hoping to find some more things. Thank you, Deanna. What to do? You may go online shopping, add some things to your Amazon cart, but again, Deanna is going to be stressing the importance of being cautious during these next couple of days here with Amazon Prime Day deals, to make sure that. Sorry, I think something happened with the microphone over there. The behind the scenes is always interesting on the digital desk and beyond. But yes, if you want to watch a movie later tonight, or you do your Amazon shopping, or find any other deals, just make sure that you're being cautious. Yes, Deanna mentioned links and phone calls and different messages being sent out to people that you really want to watch out for, so that you're not being scammed. So again, just make sure you're being cautious. But yeah, taking a look at the forecast, this is what you can expect. So if you want to partake in any of those deals on Amazon, or again, any other place that is having those deals, it's a great night to do that. Maybe watch a movie, anything that you can imagine. But again, just make sure that you are taking those steps like Justin Bradford mentioned. Really be careful in preparing for tonight, because we have talked about the flooding last week, and that was less severe than what is happening tonight. So again, that's why today is a first alert weather day, not speaking on the impacts during the day, but it's what's happening tonight coming around 10 o'clock. So when that sun sets, just know that weather is going to be moving in. I mean, the weather's here, but the first alert weather day with the storms, you really want to watch out for that. So make sure to stay tuned with us here on News 10. Justin Bradford will have more again coming up in less than half an hour on Studio 10, followed by First at 4, and then we'll have Andy Provenzano sharing what he has coming up during our 90 minutes of news, speaking more on the first alert weather day. But we have Mars here, who is smiling. Always.
Unfortunately.
You say fortunately or unfortunately?
Unfortunately, I have just, happiness all around me every day,
That's
all
good.
the time. I
All
just
vibes.
can't, be sad. So.
That's good. We love that. Okay. Well, today, what are you working on?
So we're talking measles. So the sixth case in the state, the first in Macomb County, which is, I want to say, probably an hour, 30 minutes away from here. But, it's still, measles was, I guess for me, I'm in my 30s, I'll say that. It was something that was common for you to get that MMR shot. Of course, we're years out from when I was in elementary school. So, of course, there are other complications that people may deal with, not just being an age thing. There may be complications in receiving vaccinations and things like that. So we're just talking about, the importance of now we're seeing this disease. It may not be at great number, but that educational piece is important, whether you are pro-vaccine or not. We are dealing with, what could be a greater issue. So we want to definitely educate the public on this. I've never had measles. I'm vaccinated, but I don't know what that means as an adult compared to when I was a kid. But kids are getting this, and so there are major implications for them and for other people who would be at risk as well.
Well, yeah, it's just staying informative, which is what you'll be doing. And like you mentioned, some of these people, whether you're a parent or not, maybe you got vaccinated or not when you were younger. And if you have kids now, it's, what is that looking like now that there are more cases being reported here in our state, and close by us. So it's making sure, especially when the school year begins.
Yeah, see, that's another topic, and I did the story before back in February when there was a little bit of conversation, and someone who I believe she was maybe close to my age, maybe a little bit older, she was kind of talking about the fact that she didn't really know about measles. And so one of my questions I was reaching out to Health Sparrow was, with this pandemic that just happened and so much conversation around this vaccination, have we moved away from talking about other vaccinations, and especially if we consider consider measles eradicated. It's like that conversation probably has not been going on for a while. And of course, you may have those times where, well, as a parent, your doctor is encouraging your child to get vaccinated and things like that. But what about at an older age? We always talk about getting it young, but are there greater implications if you are older? So a lot of that conversation. And so, like I said, overall, it's just to say, hey, we are experiencing this. One, maybe too many for some people, but experts are saying 6 is a lot, and we should just be aware and we should be educated. So that's a big part of my story.
Yeah, well, it's knowing about the risks and everything. Like you mentioned, a lot of vaccines have come out since then. When you're a child and you're told, you know, here's the list of vaccines that you'll need to go to school, this and that. Sometimes it's like thrown all at you and you're like, okay, well, I was told to get this, so let me get it if you need it. But sometimes you understand the risks behind all of these different diseases and illnesses.
And especially, I think the big thing is, of course, when you consider, and I hate to say it because we know that measles has been around for a long time, by far longer than COVID. But you know, we still have those situations where now we are questioning because of all of the information that's been spread during that time of this vaccination. It was too soon, and all these other things is that we may be a little bit hesitant about then moving forward with any other vaccinations that have already previously existed. But of course, medical experts are saying, and they know for a fact that, you know, this vaccination does help to diminish the spread of measles, and it's been here before I was here. So all I can say is, you know, there have been those proven results there, but I guess more conversation around being vaccinated. Whether you choose or not, your choice, but there still should be more conversation for sure.
So talking about the conversation and facing the uncertainty and addressing all of that for the public,
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Well, thank you, Mars. That is coming up again. What time?
News 10 at 5:30.
News 10 at 5:30. All right. Well, make sure to tune in. One last time, I'll pull up what we have coming up during our 90 minutes of news. We'll let Mars get back to working on his story and Deanna for hers. Again, just make sure you're tuning into News 10 all day long. For more about the top headlines of the day. So this is everything that we have coming up again. And then also we'll be sharing more on the Republican National Convention that is happening right now as well. I'll give one more live look into that. Here we go. So we have speakers up there. We've had several speakers up there. So we'll just make sure to recap this for everybody later throughout the day. Again, this is a Republican National Convention happening in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And again, we'll be sharing more updates into that throughout News 10 today. But again, we have that First Alert Weather Day happening tonight, so make sure that you're tuning into News 10 all day long here to prepare for those storms. And I do want to transition this also to our You're Not Alone mental health series. I like to tie it into the weather because, you know, as the weather changes, so do our feelings and emotions. And just knowing sometimes it could be a sunny day and you're feeling all good. Sometimes you could be having your own First Alert Weather Day, you know, and where your emotions feel out of place. Maybe they're lasting a little bit longer. And you're looking for that support, someone to talk to, guidance maybe, or just someone to listen and understand where you're coming from. Maybe you're not looking for advice at all. You're just looking for that support and someone to listen. Know that you're not alone. There are resources out there for you, and many people are looking for those same things. You know, they're looking for that guidance. They're looking for that support. They're just looking for someone who is going to listen to them, understands what they're going through, and yeah, just be there for them, show up. So know that there are mental health care professionals out there who want to be there for you and improve your emotional well-being. So go to that QR code with your cell phone's camera, scan it, and it'll pull you to our website, WILX.com, where you can find more information on those resources. And again, the resources listed, we're not saying you have to go to those ones. We're just showing you different examples or resources available across our area. So know that you can go there and you're not alone. But that is everything we have coming up today on News 10. Studio 10 gets started here in about 20 minutes, so I will stop talking so you can get ready for them and everything coming up. I know Nicole had a lot of things going on. So that's what we have coming up. And then Justin Bradford is back. He's going to have more on your First Alert Weather Day happening tonight. I just want to emphasize that the First Alert Weather Day is for late tonight, around 10 o'clock. Just make sure you have the First Alert Weather app on your phone. You're tuning back in on air and online here with us on News 10 to stay informed on that, so you can best prepare for the thunderstorms coming across mid-Michigan tonight. Other than that, that is what we have coming up today on News 10. Thank you so much for joining us on the News 10 Plus digital desk. Have a great rest of your Monday, mid-Michigan.